Let's get into it. Merry Christmas edition.
Merry Christmas.
Christmas time, Christmas time, Christmas time is here.
Yeah.
Christmas time is Christmas time, Christmas time this year. I got the wife with me.
Hello.
And we're doing, we got Joe Rogan, Adam Curry, Joe Rogan's theory on Christmas and how it's connected to other things. Way other than Santa.
Yeah,
his
wild
theory.
things.
Yeah. And
he loves this theory, too.
Yeah, he does. He's loved it for years. And then we're going to be exploring the information that you found.
Mm-hmm.
What was that information?
Just a little bit of history on St. Nicholas himself, as well as some comparisons to other historical figures.
We care. We care about Christmas. You got a little Christmas episode. I didn't just want to do like a regular episode. You know what I mean? It's Christmas time where you are. And we're going to do some Christmas time stuff. We don't say happy holidays in this family, okay? You can tell by the hat. You know what time it is? Just saying. All right, let's get over to this clip. Don't forget about Soul Not For Sale. I am CoachColin.com. Public Enemy #1 and The Great Resist. Discount code is I am Coach Colin. All capital letters, all one word. 1 L in the name Colin. Let's get into this clip. Take this off. Boom. Let's go.
And it's actually more oryx in Texas than in Africa, I believe.
That's true. Yeah.
Because they're really managing them. You can go there, you can hunt them, shoot them, and then they'll dress the whole thing for you if you want. You can do it yourself. And that part's not for me. I don't know. I just don't think I can. If I had to, no problem. But
right.
not
you don't
just,
have to.
No.
Right. Yeah. No. I get it, man. I get it. It's not for everybody.
Have you ever shot something?
Yeah. Yeah. I hunt. Yeah.
Oh, do bow and arrow, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a whole different level.
Yeah, it's this is my first animal I ever shot. That deer, I shot it on a TV show called Meat Eater, and I got hooked right after because I was either going to become a vegetarian or I was going to become a hunter.
Right.
I had seen too many of those PETA videos. And
You dress them, you do all that
do
yourself.
Everything. Yeah, I do.
I got
everything.
a buddy who does that, Scott, in Austin.
When I go elk hunting, we'll dress it in the field and quarter it, but then I'll send it to a butcher to get it chopped up in different cuts.
But yeah, no, I love meat. There's nothing wrong with that.
It's I understand what you're saying. Like to pull the trigger and to be there when an animal dies, it's intense, but it also makes you realize what you're doing when you're eating meat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think just knowing this, I'm cognizant of it. I mean, I don't bless my food, but I think about it. I'm like, all right, thanks, man.
Well,
thanks, madam. Cow,
when I was
whatever.
in Utah last September and I shot this elk, not only do these guys pray for the elk, everyone takes their hat off, but they actually take a wad of grass that the elk eat and they make like a bundle of it and they put it down on the elk carcass when we're done cleaning the elk. So after the bare bones of the elk, after the meat's removed, they put this thing down, they take their hats off. It was pretty serious. Like these guys, they do it with every elk that dies.
Yeah.
Because it's it's part of their livelihood, but it's also they're majestic. They're they're delicious.
It's beautiful animals.
And they're so special. They're so interesting. Like if I could just eat elk for the rest of my life, I'd be happy doing that.
Reindeer? Have you tried reindeer?
No, caribou. Right?
Okay,
Yeah.
so reindeer in Finland had some reindeer. There's a restaurant, and then a buddy of mine worked at Nokia at the time, and they bring you a picture. This is him. What? And he's alive. And you're like, that was Rudolph, and then there he is.
So they kill him right before they serve it to
I don't
you?
know that, but they do show you, this is the one you're eating right here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's intense.
That's very
I want
tasty,
you to
though. It's
feel it.
fantastic meat.
Yeah, caribou is a very prized meat. Yeah, and they're amazing animals, too. And they have these huge herds of them. And
I went to the North Pole, and I saw just tons of them up there.
do you know the whole story with them and psychedelics?
With caribou?
Yeah.
No, but I'm interested.
Okay, caribou are connected to a mushroom called the Amanita muscaria mushroom. They're addicted to this mushroom. They eat it constantly. They've actually been known when people do psychedelic ceremonies and they go outside of their yurts to pee, caribou will knock them over to try to get to their urine because their urine is rich with the smell of this mushroom. Yeah, they eat it constantly. Hence,
It's a psychedelic mushroom?
the flying reindeer. It gets crazier. Ready? The connection between Santa Claus and reindeers is very strange. The connection between Santa Claus and this mushroom is also very strange. The mushroom looks like Santa Claus. It's red and white. It also shows up under pine trees. It has a mycorrhizal relationship with coniferous trees. So when it rains, the mushrooms will pop up under these trees. So these bright packages that look that's what they
Packages
look
under
like.
the tree.
Exactly. That is what they look like under trees.
Wait.
Boom. Yeah,
Yeah,
not only that, it
blowing
gets
my
crazier.
mind.
It gets crazier. To dry them off, the shamans would pick them and then put them in the pine. Put that photo up again for Adam.
Thanks, man.
Put them in the pine needles to dry them off. So just like balls hanging
in
from
the
a
tree.
Christmas tree.
Right.
And ornaments in a Christmas tree.
Well, we still put pine needles in the pine cones in the tree.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And balls, those bright colored balls. They think the origin of that was those things. Also, Santa Claus came down the Christmas tree and the chimney, when they were discouraging these shamanic rituals. people had to sneak into people's houses to perform them. And one of the ways they did that was to climb down through the chimney. So the shaman would drop down through the chimney with a bag of mushrooms, and then they would all have these ceremonies. And when these ceremonies were forbidden, that's how they got around it. Yeah, it's the relationship between Santa Claus and Christmas and this mushroom is very strange. And there's tons of articles. Also, almost all of the old Christmas cards had the Amanita muscaria mushroom on it. And elves, also the connection between elves and these mushrooms.
I got to ask Dvorak about that. He collects, he's an archivist. He collects old Christmas cards.
Oh, does he?
I'll bet you he has some of those.
Find old Christmas cards with mushrooms. There's thousands of them.
I've never done mushrooms.
What?
I've done DMT. No, thank you. I'll smoke weed, but and I did DMT and enjoyed it very, very much.
That's a wild one, huh?
I did it twice.
See, look at these old Christmas trees.
Oh, yeah.
Find some ones that show like Merry. Look at that one right there in the middle. Yeah, there you go. See that one? Merry Christmas. Trip your balls off, kids. Hey, look, they all have mushrooms.
Oh, my God.
In the early 1900s, when they were making these, and even in the 1800s, people were just more connected to the origins of these stories.
Sure.
And over time, we've kind of lost that connection.
Well, we've commercialized it into all kinds of other shit.
But it's always the Amanita muscaria. If you look at these.
Yeah, the mushroom, of course.
It's always that one mushroom that looks like Santa Claus.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a weird mushroom, though. That was a complicated mushroom because it varies genetically and also varies geographically and also varies seasonally. I've done it before, but I never had a good reaction out of it. I did it with my friend Stanhope, and Doug and I did it, and we weren't feeling it. And then we had some other mushrooms. We brought some psilocybin mushrooms. We threw them into the party, and then we took off.
I'm not into eating any drugs.
No?
I like smoking flower. That's about it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I grew up in Amsterdam. That made it kind of easy.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, it's tricky, especially when you don't know what you're getting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but mushrooms are pretty standard. Once you've done it a few times, you know what you're getting into. But that mushroom and Christmas, it's very. And anyway, the caribou, which is pull Santa's reindeer, pull the sled, right? Well, they're flying because they're tripping their balls off. They're high as fuck.
Wow.
Yeah.
The more you know.
Yeah, I mean that's probably the reason why those reindeer are addicted to that mushroom. They favor it. They love it. Yeah.
It's
a weird one.
Story.
That mushroom also is a weird one in that when people take it, they trip, and then to really enhance their trip, they drink their urine because apparently the in the urine contains, like, your body filters out.
You get an extra super blast.
Exactly. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Weird stuff.
I'm trying to cut back on drinking my pee, though.
Yeah, it's a good
just
move.
a bit. Yeah.
It's unsightly. People catch you doing it. They give you the weird eye.
It's socially so unacceptable. Just like, what the hell are you doing, Curry?
Yeah. But anyway, caribou. I've never had it, but I've heard it's delicious. I've had a bunch of different kinds of deer. Axis deer is probably the favorite. That's really delicious.
Mm-hmm.
That's another one. It's a weird deer because it's an invasive species in Texas.
I got him in the backyard.
Oh, do you have axis deer in your backyard?
No, I got deer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know.
Regular white-tailed deer?
I have no idea.
And I say all that to say I've never had caribou.
Yeah. I just like that side trip into the psychedelics.
Yeah, right?
Hunting, psychedelics, hunting.
Yeah. Whew, amazing. Wild, he said he was going to be a vegetarian.
Yeah.
Or he was going to be a hunter.
He was on the fence there.
That's so weird. He wouldn't have done well as a vegetarian.
No.
Not at all. Wouldn't have went well for him. But, or maybe it would have. Who knows? Maybe he would have been like one of those hippies. He would have been juicing like crazy. He might have done well. But either way, that is Joe Rogan's theory. Well, not even his theory, what he's learned about it, what he likes to talk about. Like, there's been other podcasts where he tells that same story over and over again.
Yeah.
Because it's very special to him.
And he even tweeted about it.
Because you know what? I was going to say, it's also very special to me. I love that story. I love hearing about that. I love, I'm going to pull up the tweet right now. This is 6 years ago he made this tweet. Was it 6 years ago?
Yeah,
2017. He made that tweet. It's like, my yearly reminder, for those who don't know, Santa Claus is a magic mushroom.
He loves it. It's his favorite story.
It's there's a lot related to it. Like, it makes a lot of sense when you, but I don't think Santa Claus is one.
No.
I think, and we'll go through like all this stuff, but I think it was it's a mash of all sorts of things. That's what I think. I think they put together a lot of things. I think that story that he told is very valid, and I think the information that we're going to come up on now is also very valid. And I think they just all started melding together.
For sure.
And then corporations got involved, and they were like, what's the best part of this?
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, let's leave it at this. Hallmark was like, no more mushrooms on the cards. And, like, it just became about presents and this and that. But
yeah.
I think it used to have a much deeper meaning.
Yeah, we were at my parents' yesterday for dinner, and you picked out the mushroom on the tree right away.
Yeah, I walked up to it. It was like I was eye level.
Yep.
I was like, oh, look at this.
Which is so funny because it's always been there. Like,
You never noticed.
well, no, I probably noticed last year. I think
Yeah.
you maybe saw it last year as well.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, it's been years and years and years they've had it.
Mhm.
Those ornaments are probably from the 80s.
Yeah.
And it's just, yeah,
it's
a
just
mushroom.
one of those things.
And it was always one of my favorites because it's like cute and little.
Yeah. a lot of people don't notice, and it's funny the way I didn't catch it the first time, the way that they grow under that tree, and how they're like little packages. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
A lot of sense.
Just the red things pop up under the pine trees.
Yeah. This one that I got looks a lot like one, but it's not. This one is just like I just said make it trippy. I just said give me a trippy one. He was like, all right, let's do it. We were in Vegas. We were going crazy. But yeah, let's get into it. Which one do you want to bring up first? The one I was just on?
Yeah, the one you have right now.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
Perfect. So these are 8 ways magic mushrooms explain Santa and are related to Christmas. So the very first one there says Arctic shamans gave out mushrooms on the winter solstice. So that's exactly what Joe was saying, is that they would dry these mushrooms they would find.
Wow.
And then pop in through people's yurts. And they would use the top entrance because oftentimes the side was like covered by snow and you couldn't get in easily.
Wow.
So they would use the
chimney.
chimney to get in, and they would hand out mushrooms on Christmas.
Can you read this little part? What does it say here? As the story goes.
As the story goes, up until a few hundred years ago, these practicing shamans or priests connected to the older traditions would collect Amanita muscaria, the holy mushroom, dry them, and then give them as gifts on the winter solstice.
Wow.
Because snow is usually blocking doors, there was an opening in the roof through which people entered and exited. Therefore, the chimney story.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, it's just like a mash of everything.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so who's this kind person that brings the gifts? You know, you're like, okay, leave shaman out of it. That's nonsense.
Yeah.
And then we'll bring in Santa Claus and we'll connect that to Saint Nicholas because Saint Nicholas was great. And we'll just like, it's actually pretty perfect.
Yeah.
The way they just mashed it all together.
Because all of these stories are like regional things too.
True.
So it's like they adopted all of these little regional stories and, like you said, just kind of cherry picked good parts out of them.
Yeah.
And then made it more palatable for everybody.
Yeah. If you're going to have a society that's filled with like Christians and pagans and this and that,
Yeah.
it's like, let's just make something for everybody.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. And then number 2 there is mushrooms like gifts are found beneath pine trees. And
Yes.
that's exactly what he was just talking about, that they just happen to grow there.
Wow. I should I'm probably going to get one of these tattooed on me eventually.
That specific one?
Yeah, sure. Why not? You know, to be a Christmas one.
The Christmas mushroom.
I've been meaning to get another tattoo of some kind. But yeah, what's this one about? This is just about how it's under the tree?
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah.
See how that works? Oh, what does this say? Why do people bring pine trees into their houses at the winter solstice? Yeah, see, that's a thing. People don't realize, like a lot of people don't realize the winter solstice. They don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
They don't realize it's happening right around the time that they're celebrating. Around the time that they're celebrating, Jewish people are celebrating, you know, Kwanzaa, if that's still a thing.
Yeah.
You know? It's interesting.
I think Diwali was a bit earlier.
Diwali, I think it's a bit earlier. I have no idea when. But why do people bring placing brightly colored packages as a thought? Yeah, this is exactly what Joe was talking about. And what better gift? Me and a good friend of mine used to gift each other things like this all the time.
Yeah, it's funny.
Till we grew up.
And then number 3 on there is reindeer were shaman spirit animals.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where's this? Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm on it, yeah. Wow. They were the shaman spirit animals.
Siberian tribesmen who ingested the magic mushrooms may have hallucinated that the grazing reindeer were flying.
Let's just say mushrooms.
Okay.
Yeah. leave the magic out. Let's do it.
Christmas magic.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
Christmas mushrooms.
Christmas magic.
Yeah. So that makes a lot of sense. Their spirit animal was the reindeer. They were doing that.
Yeah.
See, that makes more sense. He was talking about how flying reindeer. That makes what he's saying also makes sense if they were actually like, you know, licking up, you know, like that.
Yeah.
But that makes a lot of sense too because the spirit animal and the shaman are flying together.
Yes,
as one.
takes you on your quest.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it brings you on this quest of giving and uniting people.
Yeah. There you go.
Because that's what because that's what really, the spirit of Christmas at the end of the day is about. And you taught me this. It's about, people being together.
Yeah.
Coming together as family. Being nice to your fellow neighbor.
Mm-hmm. Just having a good time.
Yeah.
Then number 4 says shamans dress like Santa Claus.
Oh,
And they have a tradition of dressing up like that mushroom.
Yeah, wearing, yes.
Wearing red and white.
Like I'm dressed right now.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
And of course, in the Arctic, they wear furs. So it'd be like a furry coat.
True. I love it. I love the connection here. What else?
And then number 5 is just talking about mushrooms in Christmas iconography. And it specifically mentions tree ornaments shaped like the mushroom.
Okay. Yeah, perfect. We just talked about that.
Yeah.
I was just going to say quickly, did you find anything on St. Nicholas?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. Because there's a bunch on him.
Yeah.
And he's a huge part of the whole thing. Like if it's all like pieces to a puzzle, he's like a big part of it, where they switched out the shaman for St. Nicholas.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Right? Think of it. Like they took him and they put him in this hat and all that stuff because he was such a giving person. And I can't tell the story exactly, but that whole story, did you find that story at all?
Well, I don't know what story you're talking about.
It's a story where he helps this gentleman with the dowries for his
Yes,
daughter.
I do have that one.
You do have that one?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll let you tell that story then. But tell it without
Yes, I got it.
the thing they got involved in.
Yes.
There's certain things we can't bring up on YouTube. What were you on, number 5?
Number 6.
Number 6? All right, let me get over there. Rudolph's.
Yeah, Rudolph's nose is bright red.
See, and this links up to what Joe was talking about exactly. Because if they were really into those, then they would be constantly going to them.
Yeah.
So they would seem
It's like
they had
leading the way through the dark.
That too. True enough. But like their noses would constantly be red.
Yeah.
Not because it rubs off or anything, but they're just so into it all the time that it would just seem like they had a big red nose.
True.
Or even if they were eating them,
Yeah.
it would look like they had a red nose for a second.
Oh, that's funny.
Especially if they were like if they're eating a bunch, right?
Yeah, that's funny. I like that.
Oh, so crazy. I love it.
And then number 7 here is talking about St. Nicholas may have been borrowed from shaman rituals.
St. Nicholas may have been borrowed?
Yep. So there's it says
Really?
A Visit from St. Nicholas, which is a poem from 1823.
Really?
Which later became 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. So it's very famous.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Wow, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It
But
says
St. Nicholas was real.
Yeah. It says the poet probably drew from Northern European motifs that derive from Siberian or Arctic shamanic traditions.
Huh.
It says at the very least, Arthur wrote, Santa's sleigh and reindeer are probably references to various related Northern European mythology.
Okay. It does have so much, and it makes you really think when you hear about other myths, right? Other mythological deities, gods, whatever you want to call it. It makes you wonder, like, maybe there is an element of truth to it. Maybe it's pieced together the same way this all is.
It's true.
Huh.
And then the last one here, it says Santa is from the Arctic.
It's from the ice wall.
Yeah.
It's from that ice wall. Santa. Very, very interesting.
I was just saying that shamans dealt with reindeer spirits and wore red deer pelts. And that the coloring of Santa's garb is meant to imitate the mushrooms.
Ah, okay. Cool.
And they're talking about Santa and the reindeer going on a trip.
Yes, of course. A trip.
Yes.
Right? There you go. Oh, I love it.
So, yeah, lots of mushroom things.
Okay, so let's get into St. Nicholas.
Yeah. Well, we all kind of know the basic story of St. Nicholas.
Of course.
Gives out gifts. Nice, jolly guy. Patron saint of like children and things like that.
Of children. Like, there's so many
There's
things.
a bunch of things he's a saint of.
Yeah, it's weird. Unmarried people.
Yes.
Like, just weird stuff.
Yeah. Children, I think, is like the most credited one.
Which is why, most credited, but that would make sense why you would make him Santa. Because Santa brings gifts for everybody.
Yeah.
Except for those who are bad.
That's true.
right? He always wanted to help people who were good.
Yeah.
He's like, if you were good, you deserve help.
Yep.
And he wanted nothing in return, which is, that's all Santa is. Santa's just like, be a good person. That's it. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And like Cookie's like worked in when like, Big Cookie came into the picture and they were like, hey, come on, we got to let us get a little money in this whole thing.
Yeah.
They're like, every family just puts out 10 cookies. What's the problem? And then Milk was like, you guys kidding me?
Yeah.
Can I get in on this or what?
And then Big Carrot stepped in. It's the whole thing now. You gotta have all the groceries.
And then they were gonna get rid of Chimneys, and like Big Chimney was like, "Hey, you kidding me? Come on." Yeah, go ahead though. Sorry.
Well, you were asking about the story with the dowry with Saint Nicholas.
Yes.
So it's a pretty popular story, but it's not like.
Is it really?
Apparently.
I hadn't heard it until
Me
just
neither.
a year or two ago.
Me neither, but it says it's popular.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, Saint Nicholas was secretly providing gold to a poor man to use as dowries for his 3 daughters, saving them from a life of destitution or slavery.
Yeah, true.
So he stepped in to like make sure that everything was taken care of. So he's a good guy.
And I don't know if you have this in the story, but from what I heard is that when the man's back was turned or something, he would like go over for tea or something like that.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
And when the man's back was turned, or when he was doing whatever he had to do, he would put it in a sock.
Oh, the socks drying by the fire.
Yes.
Oh,
And that's where the stockings came from.
that's a good one.
Isn't that wow?
That's cool.
Like I like the
Wow.
story. You could tell me this was the story and I'd still be fine with it.
Yeah, true.
I'd still
That's
celebrate.
nice.
Of course.
And then there's another story. I'd never heard of this one either. It says, in this tale, it is said that Saint Nicholas saved 3 children from a wicked butcher who had taken and hurt them.
Yes. I heard this too.
Yeah, and he put their bodies in barrels to be sold as ham.
Yeah. And then
Saint Nicholas went by and
he
just
went like this.
resurrected them.
He did exactly what you see in like all the Christmas movies, where he just kind of goes like this, and it's like a little thing,
And
then-
everything's all better.
Yeah, that's what he did
The
apparently.
kids
And
popped out of there.
that was supposedly one of the miracles that he performed.
Yeah.
So he was known for some kind of miracles. They say that this was the most notable one that
interesting.
he performed. Yeah.
Interesting.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
There's also the story where he got in a fight with a guy.
Yes. He wasn't all jolly. He would throw down if necessary.
Yeah. He was super religious and wanted to make sure everybody followed.
Yes, somebody, correct me if I'm wrong, somebody said that Jesus is not God.
Yes.
Something like that.
Is not God, is not as important as God.
Yes.
And kind of refuted the existence of the Holy Trinity.
Santa was like, say again?
Yeah.
What'd you say? Say it one more time?
Yeah. Yeah. It says the guy's name was Arius. So it says there is a legend that St. Nicholas attended the first council of Nicaea in 325 AD and punched the heretic Arius for his controversial views on the nature of Christ.
Wow. Interesting.
Look at
And
that.
that's the last part of how they connected it. They connected Santa to Jesus, because it's like, why is Santa associated with the birth of Jesus?
That's true.
And they're like, boom, he loved him.
Yeah.
He was down for
Yeah.
him. What are
He
you
loved
talking
him.
about?
Yeah.
So
Was like a protector of his name.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I was
So-
just a nice, jolly guy.
Yeah, I love it. I love that story.
Yeah.
I find that so interesting. And then the last thing that I heard was, and you have it here, just Odin giving
Yeah.
gifts.
Like Odin, the Norse god,
Mm-hmm.
has a lot of similarities to Santa as well. So again, it's like you're saying, they're just taking little bits of things.
Mm-hmm.
So just really quick to summarize this article. So Scandinavian, there's a celebration called Jul, Jul.
Yes.
And they think that's where the word Yule came from.
Yuletides.
Yeah. And they had customs like hanging wreaths, singing carols, pine tree decorating, Yule log burning, mistletoe.
Really?
Yeah. So all of those things were adopted into Christmas traditions from the Scandinavian Jule celebration.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's the first thing, is that there's a lot.
Christmas is like the America of holidays. It's like a melting pot.
Yes,
They
of
were
all
like,
the fun things.
bring it all in.
Yeah.
Bring it all in. Just make sure you mention Jesus.
Yeah.
Or else it's an issue.
And then there's the basic fact that Odin and Santa's appearance is usually noted as the same.
Yes.
They're both described as like a tall, bearded old man in fur attire.
Yes.
And Odin had like a favorite disguise when he would go to visit the people.
What was that?
And it was just like in the fur coats and everything.
Oh,
Like that was his human form that he chose when he went to go visit.
Oh, so this is the two, right?
Yeah.
This is what they're showing here.
Yeah.
And Odin had one eye.
Yep.
And then this is Saint Nicholas, I believe they're showing here.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, cool. So
And they even have so apparently I didn't know that Odin gave out gifts, but Odin had a crew of industrious elves that were called Odin's men, who would craft gifts that he would go then give out.
Come on.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
The elves.
And he would put on this form to go give the gifts.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's how he could fly and everything. So it connects perfectly to shaman and this and that. It's like,
Yeah.
And then Odin could fly, of course.
Yeah.
And then he just disappears.
Yeah.
And it was like, we can't find him anywhere. Where could he be? And they're like, he's at the North Pole.
Yeah. Well, Santa has 8 reindeer that pull his sleigh, and Odin had an 8-legged horse that he would
Yes.
ride on.
Yes.
So they're comparing that as well.
Yeah, Rogan mentions that in another episode where he's talking about this. And I think I heard this in another podcast, but each leg is representative of the 8 reindeer.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. So it's not like, so that's how it makes sense there.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And then Odin also had a name that they would call him, and it was like Jule Father, like Yule Father, like Father Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Well, we got Will Ferrell here as one of the elves.
Yeah.
So good.
But yeah,
and
that's
that's
it.
the horse.
That is the 8-legged horse.
Whoa.
That's
What is
him.
this from?
That's all Norse mythology.
True. So interesting.
Yeah.
Whoa, what's this about? Is that
I think
him?
that one's just Saint Nick.
No, look that up for me.
Well, what does it say underneath the picture? Does it have a caption?
Underneath? Oh, you're supposed to look underneath.
Usually.
Connection to the Father Christmas connection.
Yeah, I don't know what that picture is.
Santa
though.
Claus has many names. So does Odin. Oh, this is going through the Yule thing that you're talking about. Okay. Let me just see a little bit more of this. Because that outfit looks so cool.
Yeah. There's a lot of interesting
Okay, so they're just
there.
talking about how, like, this is how Odin would dress.
Yeah, they're like both
And
the
this
same.
is this is like a cool looking Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Wow. I love
Crazy,
it.
eh?
The elf part is like, wow.
I know. I didn't know that he had Odin's men who would
Yeah.
make little gifts to bring.
And they would craft gifts.
Yeah.
See, this, as much as some people will be like, this is blasphemous to talk about, or I don't know about this, this makes it all make so much more sense.
Yes.
Like watching a like that claymation Rudolph movie now.
Yeah.
It all will make so much more sense to you now. You're like, okay, I get it.
I love that claymation Rudolph.
That's how you know it's Christmas.
It's the best one.
Is that your favorite Christmas?
Favorite Christmas movie?
Yeah.
Probably.
I think it's mine.
It's very cozy. Let's go watch it.
That one I would feel like it wasn't Christmas until I saw it.
I like the original cartoon Grinch too.
I never saw that.
That's a good one.
But I would always look out for that one and Frosty.
Yeah.
And then obviously like Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
I'm older than she is.
Charlie Brown wasn't my thing.
So we get a Charlie Brown. But it's like, that's how you knew it was Christmas, because that would be on TV. It's not like my
Yes.
mom had it recorded or anything. It's like, it was just there,
True.
you know?
Yeah, like on loop.
I love it. Thank you so much for such a great Christmas.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, honey.
You've given me a fantastic Christmas, and thank you all for giving me such a fantastic Christmas. 88,000 subscribers. Just this time last year, it was like 900, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that. So thank you guys so much. You have no idea how much it means. It's an incredible thing, and we're off to 250,000. That's where I got my eyes set.
Yeah. Let's do it.
250,000 subscribers, and you're gonna be with me
Yeah.
full time.
No.
Full time, she's gonna be with me.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're going to take an episode off here and there because you got things to do. But, you know, we're together now.
We are.
She's my researcher.
Yeah.
She's my Jamie.
Mm-hmm.
So many people. Why is she off camera? Because she's Jamie. You guys don't understand. She's gonna be controlling what you see soon. Not in like a handler way. not in a 3-letter agency way.
Oh my gosh.
In a helpful way.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how it turns out. I'll be like, look this up for me. It's about the World Economic Forum. She'll be like, I can't find it actually. So many people say that about Jamie. They're
When he
like,
says he can't find things.
yeah, because some people in the comments will be like, I searched the same thing they were talking about and it was the first thing that came up.
Yeah.
And then Jamie's saying you can't find it.
Yeah, maybe.
Interesting.
Or maybe he knows like what will get them.
Because there's that too.
Yeah.
He knows
He's
what
trying to help him out.
Yeah, he knows what will get them strikes, what they can't show, what they can show. Maybe because you'd think that would be a conversation they would have beforehand. Like maybe, hey, Joe, like I can't pull up everything.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Joe would be like, I don't care. We're on Spotify now. Like, what are you
True.
talking about? Right? But a lot of people are talking about that in regards to Jamie. Because you know what I notice on the podcast? Jamie will pull something up for him. And then he will also go to a spot and have Joe read that spot.
Yeah, he knows like right away.
It's not like Joe says, zoom in on that. I want to read that.
Yeah.
Like Jamie gives him the thing to read.
Yeah, that's true.
Which I find very
Which means
odd.
like Jamie would have had to read it before.
Right.
To know where to go.
How fast can he read?
Especially doing 55 other things.
Yeah. You're doing the cameras. You're doing the camera angle. You're doing the cameras. You're doing the audio levels. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're Googling. And then on top of that, you're going to read the thing while you're doing all those other things.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That doesn't actually make sense.
No.
Right? It's weird. I would love to know. Because, Joe has said things at the beginning of the podcast. I remember he said something about aliens. He's like, if you guys let me in.
Oh.
It was like, yeah, he's like one of those things. He's like, if you let me, he's like, I will lie to my mother. He's like, I will not tell
I just
anybody.
want to know.
Yeah, he's like, I will not tell anybody. He's like, I will lie to my mother. Who knows? Maybe he got a knock. Because then like a year later, he started interviewing Mike Barker, the ex-CIA guy.
Oh. Interesting.
Who knows? That's my worst fear. I look up to Rogan. I look up to Chappelle, Eric Thomas as a speaker. And there's some other, I guess Tucker Carlson as well. If to find out like all of them are like controlled would be like, ugh.
That would be very sad.
Yeah. It'd be sad and scary.
Yeah.
I've brought that up before because it'd be like, oh, and I'm not. I'd be like, so I'm the only one. I'd be like, oh my God. Oh my God. I thought we were all in this together. I thought we were all doing this together. It's just me. Oh no, this would be terrifying. But I think about that often. It's like, ugh, I wonder, But then I have my handler here. So she makes sure I'm okay. She get me my Spotify deal, But yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you guys so much. Merry Christmas. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And if you don't have anybody with you this holiday season, man, just do what I used to do. Listen to podcasts all day long. That's exactly what I used to do. Find things to watch, listen to podcasts, listen to people talk. And, for me, it feels like I'm in the room with the people. So hopefully I get to do that for somebody this year. All right? Mm-hmm. Other than that, we are out.
Bye.